Hello, everybody. Welcome to another video here. Excuse me. I'd like to thank everybody for joining in as I'm going to be doing another video of NFL stuff, just stuff to go over from the previous week and the week that we have coming up. We don't really have very many games left, and apologize, for the way that I look and stuff. I mean, I know some people probably don't like me with a beard, but the weather's getting cold and I like to keep my face warm a lot of times. Or if you want to come and sit on my lap and tell me if you've been good or bad, and maybe I'll give you a good present. That probably didn't sound so good, but let's move on with this, please. Not here to talk about Christmas. Let's get into this NFL stuff. So we're gonna go back to week 15. We had some pretty good games that happened over that previous week, and some of them that probably didn't go so well, for a bunch of other people too. But that's why I usually say their predictions. You say, "Oh, I think this team's going to win" or whatever. And like I picked a good amount of teams to win, and I'm pretty sure there were some that did not win, and some that probably did pretty well. But let's get into this. So we're going to do the recap from week 15, and then we'll go over week 16 for what teams think to win or lose. You know what I mean? So let's get into this. So hope everybody's doing well on this Wednesday evening. So let's get right into this. We have our games from week 15. The Rams beat the 49ers on Thursday Night Football by a final score of 12-6. No touchdowns were scored at all. It was pretty much nothing but field goals. But a win is a win for the Rams, and that puts their record at 8-6 and the 49ers at 6-8. As the standings look, I mean, well, we'll get into that actually. I'm not going to go over that right now. We're just going to continue with the rest of that. Like I said, I like to go over the recaps and stuff, like what I did last week, like how I said like the teams I think will win this game and all that stuff. I just like to go over that. The Ravens were victorious over the Giants by a final score of 35-14. I had my doubts a little bit because I said every time we play teams like this, we don't do so well, and the other team just winds up beating us. Like I said, it doesn't matter if they have like 0 wins, 1 win, or 2 wins, but we did really well. Lamar Jackson threw 5 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, and they brought in Josh Johnson to play the rest of the quarter. I don't understand, why we have this guy. Of course, we don't have Tyler Huntley. He's with the Dolphins. And for the Giants, Tim Boyle, he pretty much did all right. Tommy DeVito, he was the one I think that actually got the start, and he did okay. But the thing was, he really didn't do all that great, unfortunately. He really didn't. I mean, he had no touchdowns, no interceptions. Tim Boyle had 1 touchdown and the interception. I forget who the person was that had the interception for the Ravens. I'm just going to look it up really quickly if I could, and it'll tell me who had the interception, and it's not really showing me, unfortunately. I don't think it was Kyle Hamilton. I mean, it was somebody on there that had it. I mean, but nonetheless, it's not really something to go over and keep scrolling through. But anyway, Justin Tucker didn't have like any attempts at any field goals at all. That's pretty much it. Excuse me. But yeah, I mean, it was a good game nonetheless. It really was. I'm sorry, for you Giants fans out there. I know there's a couple of friends of mine that are big fans of them, and I'm sorry, we kick your guys' asses, but it's a game, it's just the way that it is, but you know, I applaud you guys, for playing us, playing against us. You guys put up a good fight, and you guys are a good team. I don't hate the Giants, like other teams I'm really not big on, but that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that. Like Forrest Gump would say, that's all I got to say about that. Next, the Jets beat the Jaguars by a final score of 32-25. Jets now go to 4-10, but they've been eliminated from the playoffs for like the past couple of weeks or so. And like I said, I'm a fan of Aaron Rodgers, and I don't really like seeing him on the Jets. I think he's a great quarterback. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, but he did have 3 touchdowns. He had a great game for the Jaguars. Mac Jones, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, but the Jaguars are 3 and 11, and their playoff chances are pretty much over. They've been over for the past couple weeks as well too. And of course, I picked the Ravens over the Giants. Pretty sure I picked the Rams over the 49ers, and the Jets I picked over the Jaguars. The Cowboys beat the Panthers by a final score of 30-14. It keeps the Cowboys' playoff chances alive as well too, because the Cowboys still do have a chance to get into the playoffs, even though with them not having their quarterback Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush has actually been doing pretty well. He had 3 touchdowns, but it's the Panthers that they played pretty much. And the Panthers, yeah, I thought they were going to give it to Andy Dalton, maybe get the start, but it went to Bryce Young instead. I mean, you remember like how last time I was going over all the quarterbacks and seeing like the squad on there and stuff just to like see who exactly, is on there. And I thought they were going to be playing instead of the other starters. But anyway, I picked the Cowboys to win. I'm pretty sure I did. The Commanders beat the Saints by a final score of 20-19. The Commanders are doing pretty well. They're 9-5, and their playoff chances are looking pretty good. The Saints, not so much. They're at 5-9, and I think we have one. No, we don't. We have 3 games left. We have week 16, 17, and 18. The Bengals beat the Titans by a final score of 37-27. I picked them because, like I said, I like Joe Burrow. I think he's a great quarterback. I know he's an AFC team, but really, a pretty good game. 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He now has 36 for the year. And yes, he still looks like Macaulay Culkin. And only 8 interceptions and 3,977 yards passing. I think pretty much it's a battle between him, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson for the MVP race. But pretty much, I think it's right now between Josh Allen and Lamar. And the Titans, Mason Rudolph actually came in and did get some playing time, because I said they'll probably get some playing time for him because Will Levis had 3 interceptions, and Mason Rudolph actually did pretty well with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Not really a big, huge fan of that guy, but I remember when he played for the Steelers and he got hit by the Ravens in that game in 2019, and he got hit pretty badly, and I think the Ravens lost that game too. But that's just a game that I remember. Sorry, just setting up a little bit, but yeah. Hold on a second. I was just looking at. Yeah, I was just looking at something just going over, but it's all good. All right. Anyway, yes, I did pick the Bengals over the Titans. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the Cleveland Browns by a final score 21-7 as they remain not really undefeated, but they only have 1 loss. They should have really more than that. Browns, unfortunately, were unable to get it. I was hoping that the Browns would get the win, but they did not. Patrick Mahomes had 2 touchdowns, and Carson Wentz had to come in and play because Mahomes had an injury with his ankle again. Somebody posted a thing and said he's out for the rest of the year, but he is not. He will probably be like day-to-day or something, and we'll get into who they're playing. Jamison Winston, unfortunately, had 3 interceptions, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson came in, and he had 1 interception. So not really a very good game for them. I was hoping the Browns would be able to upset them, but that was wishful thinking. The Texans beat the Dolphins by a final score of 20-12. The Dolphins are still in it as well, too, but once again, the playoff chances are going down a little bit. They're in the hunt. The Bills, I believe, are on top in the AFC East, I believe that is, and along with the Patriots are pretty much out of it, and the Jets, yeah, nothing really to say about that. Texans get the win. They go to 9-5, and of course, I picked the Texans over the Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa, I always pronounce the name wrong, had 3 interceptions. I mean, I'd like to see them give Tyrod Taylor, Tyler Huntley, I'm sorry. Tyrod Taylor was another quarterback that just popped in my head, and I'm like, wait a minute, woof. I remember that guy, but that's not who I was referring to. I was referring to Tyler Huntley. I think really he should get some playing time, but I don't think they're going to. The Broncos beat the Colts by the final score of 31-13. I'm pretty sure I went with the Colts, but I really wish they would just give Joe Flacco some playing time. I mean, I really think that they should. I mean, also, I think that Joe Flacco should return to Baltimore and retire as a Raven, but that's probably not something that's going to happen. But I think it really should because of the fact that Flacco was a great quarterback. A lot of people are going to disagree, but I don't care. Anthony Richardson had 2 interceptions, and again, I really think it should be Flacco getting the start. I mean, if they want to stay in playoff contention, I really think it should go to Flacco. And for the Broncos, Bo Nix, 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Not really all that great. But that's pretty much about it. I think I picked the Colts over the Broncos, and the Broncos' playoff chances are still looking pretty good. The Cardinals beat the Patriots by the final score 30-17. The Patriots have been eliminated for a while. I mean, it's kind of hard, after all them years when Tom Brady was your quarterback and you try to get somebody, to replace him, and it's tough, that's it's a lot of shoes to fill. Drake May didn't really, he pretty much had an okay game. Kyler Murray did all right. No touchdowns and no interceptions, just the rushing yards from James Conner. Had 110 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. So that was pretty good for him. And I picked the Cardinals over the Patriots. The Bills beat the Lions in probably the best game, from week 15. The Bills wound up winning by the final score of 48-42. I didn't really watch a whole lot of the game, but I saw it. And Josh Allen had 362 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. James Cook with 2 rushing touchdowns. And Josh Allen with 2 of them as well, too. And the Lions, Jared Goff had 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and passed for 494 yards. But it was not enough to get them the win as the Bills get it and go to 11-3, and the Lions drop to 12-2. I'm pretty sure that I picked the Bills to win that. Like I said, that was pretty much the best game of the week. I think that everybody would agree with that. The Buccaneers destroyed the Chargers by the final score of 40-17. Buccaneers at 8-6, and same with the Chargers. I really wanted the Chargers to win it, but the Buccaneers just pretty much had it in the bag with Baker Mayfield with 4 touchdowns. Justin Herbert had 2 touchdowns and interception, and Taylor Heineke, I think it's pronounced Heineke, but he was just pretty much in there, I think, for a play or something. Now, the best one of it all, the Eagles beat the Steelers by the final score 27-13. And yes, I know a lot of people are probably picking the Steelers to finish first place. Russell Wilson had 1 touchdown. Nothing really from Justin Fields. He came in just for 1 play when he rushed, and probably a few others. And Jalen Hurts did pretty good with 2 touchdowns. That's pretty much about it. But I'm so glad that the Eagles won. Fly like an eagle to victory, and they now go to 12-2. Steelers drop to 10-4. And there you go. And of course, I picked the Eagles over the Steelers. The Packers beat the Seahawks by the final score of 30-13. I'm pretty sure I picked the Packers to win, and Packers improved to 10-4, and the Seahawks at 8-6. Their playoff chances are still there, but it was a pretty good game. I did watch it. Then we had our Monday night doubleheader between the Bears and the Vikings, and the Vikings won by the final score 30-12. Vikings improved to 12-2, and the Bears pretty much at 4-10. I would think probably the Panthers and the Patriots. It's going to be a battle between those two, like who's going to get the number 1 pick for the draft and all that. I don't really pay any attention to that, but like I said, it's probably between those two. The Falcons beat the Raiders as well by the final score of 15-9, putting them at 7-7. And from what I heard, instead of being Kirk Cousins to be the quarterback for the next game, I think it's going to be the other person. I forgot his name. Atlanta Falcons quarterbacks. I think they said it's going to be Michael Penix Jr., and they also got Nathan Peterman, but Kirk Cousins, who's pretty much been their quarterback, he had 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but he has 18 touchdowns and 16 interceptions for this season, and he has 3,508 yards passing, which is pretty good for yards, but the touchdowns and interceptions not all that great. But I thought I saw somewhere they said that somebody else is going to be getting the start. And for the Raiders, Desmond Ritter, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and then Jacob Myers, I think he looks like a receiver or something like that. Yeah, he is. He must have came in for a play or something. But anywho, I'm pretty sure I picked the Falcons and Vikings. I picked them as well. And there you go. So not too bad, I should say I did for week 6 or 15. Now let's get into week 16 and go over these games that we have. Excuse me. And let's put in our predictions. So here we go. Sorry. First one we have on tap is the Thursday night football matchup between the Denver Broncos and the Los Angeles Chargers. Should be a pretty good matchup with these two teams. I'm going to have to go with the Charger in this one because I do like Jim Harbaugh. I mean, I like to see him go to the playoffs again and probably face the Ravens again. It probably wouldn't be a good idea to people because they'll be like, well, it'll probably be Jim Harbaugh getting the win because he wants his revenge. But, I mean, like I said, I just wouldn't like it to pretty much be, the Chargers winning this one. I mean, I have nothing against the Broncos. They're good at 9-5. They're having a really good season. And the Chargers, I mean, they didn't really have their best stuff against the Buccaneers as we went over. But I think the Chargers will probably bounce back in this one and get the win. I say 26-20. Now for this one, and we have to go over it because it's pretty much on Saturday, but we'll get to the first one. It's on Saturday. We have the Houston Texans and the Kansas City Chiefs at 1 o'clock on NBC and Peacock streaming on there. I'm pretty sure, Patrick Mahomes is going to be getting the start in this one, and CJ Stroud, is a great young quarterback. It's a battle between 2 young quarterbacks, and you probably know what I'm going to be doing with this. I mean, I'm just going to take a shot with this, and I'm going to go with the Texans. I know it seems like a crazy prediction right there. Well, I usually give crazy predictions sometimes, but like I said, I'd like to see the Chiefs, get another loss. I mean, yeah, they only got 1 loss, and they're playing like Super Bowl contenders once again, but I really think that it should go in favor to the Texans, even though it's in Kansas City. But I'd really like to see the Texans get this one, and I say they get it 29-23. 29-23. Probably seems like a little bit of a weird score, but I don't really think so. And now we get into this one, and and I didn't go over the favorites and stuff. The Chargers are a favorite against the Broncos, and of course Kansas City is a favorite, but I'm just going with what I said. All right, now we get into this one, and that is the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. I know, I mean, I like a lot of games, that are on Sundays instead of Saturdays, but I guess because of the holidays or whatever, I mean, I know they probably do this a lot, but the Ravens, they look really, really good, but it was the Giants that we played, but sometimes when we play teams like the Steelers and a few others, we don't put up that good amount of points. We really do not. I mean, Steelers, of course, coming off their loss against the Eagles, this is pretty much a battle for first place. So if the Ravens win, they'll be 10-5, and the Steelers will be 10-5 as well too. But if the Steelers win, they'll be 11-4, and the Ravens will be 9-6. And pretty much they would not be able to clinch first place in the AFC North. That wouldn't be decided till probably at least week 17 and stuff, like if the Steelers won again and the Ravens lost. But of course, I'm going with the Ravens over the Steelers. I will not pick the Steelers over my hometown team because, again, that's stupid. I mean, the only time that I would pick them was like probably back when the Ravens were struggling and they weren't really playing all that great. But I mean, I used to be a fan of the Steelers. I mean, I used to like Ben Roethlisberger, but later on, no. Tommy Maddox, was all right, but that's really about it. And Cordell Stewart, but he's like more of a 90s person and stuff. But you know what I mean? And then Mason Rudolph came in and the rest of them too. Now they got Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. But even though they beat the Ravens before, and pretty much the Ravens are going to try and get the victory. Sorry, I mean, I don't understand, why something scratching my throat. Sorry about that. But anywho, the Ravens are a 6.5 point favorite, and I really think that'll be more than 6 points. 6.5, that is. I say the Ravens 28 and the Steelers 17. I think 20. Make it 28-19. I mean, I think it's gonna be a little bit more. Just leave it like that. I mean, I don't really like change scores a lot of times like that. But once again, 28-19, I say the Ravens get it. Okay, now that we're out of Saturday, now we're going to Sunday. We have the Rams and the Jets. Not really a matchup that looks, all that. I mean, it's in New Jersey where the Jets play. The Rams are 8-6, and the Jets, their playoff chances are over. Like I said, but I'm gonna go with the Rams in this one over the Jets, 26-20. Next one should be a pretty good matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders, Redskins. Which it really should be, but we'll just go by as it is. We'll play your game. I'm going to go with the Eagles in this one. I think they're going to get this victory over the Commanders. I say Eagles 32 and Commanders 25. Next one is between the New York, Jersey Giants and the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons' playoff chances are still there. They could still finish at 10-7, and if they win the rest of the games, or they could finish there's 17 games that they play now, pretty much, but or they could finish the season 9-8. One of those it could be, or they could lose the rest of the games. They could finish the season 7-10. But I'm going with the Falcons in this one over the Giants. I think the Falcons have a pretty good chance. They are an 8.5 point favorite, and I don't know who will get the start for the Giants in this one because Tommy DeVito, he pretty much was all right, and the other quarterback, I forgot his name, that played against, well, it was Tommy DeVito, and the other one was Tim Boyle, so it could possibly be Tim Boyle getting it, but it might go to DeVito. I don't really know exactly. But anywho, Falcons over the Giants, 24-14. Then we have the Cardinals taking on the Panthers. Cardinals are a 5-point favorite. This is a matchup that's pretty much nothing really. If they probably give the start to Andy Dalton in this one, it'd probably be a little bit more interesting. But if they give it to the other quarterback that pretty much gets the start, Bryce Young, I really don't think it should be him, but it probably will be. I say the Cardinals get this one easily, 26-12. Then we have Battle the Orange team, the Bengals and the Browns at Cincinnati. I say the Bengals get this one pretty much. The Bengals are a 7.5 point favorite. Browns are 3-11. Yeah, that's not really been a great season. What's his name? I always get the names confused. I don't want to go with the one person that Jameson Winston has been doing all right for the Browns, and sure he'll try his best, but I think the Bengals is go away with this. I think the Bengals have a better chance than the Browns in this one. I say Bengals 28 and Browns 17. Then we have the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are a 3.5 point favorite, and I'm really, really I am really, really hoping that Joe Flacco gets a start in this one instead of Anthony Richardson. If they want to keep their playoff chances intact, I really think that it should go to Flacco instead of Anthony. I mean, the guy had 2 interceptions, and Flacco is just pretty much still sitting on the bench, and I really think he should be starting, which probably is not true. I mean, to some people, but really, I really think that Flacco should be getting the start in this one. And for the Titans, I mean, their record is 3-11, and I think the Colts are going to pretty much get the victory in this one. But again, I think it still should be Flacco starting, but I still think they can still get the win without him starting. I say Colts 23 and Titans 19. Then we have a not so great matchup between the Lions and Bears. Oh my. But the Bengals would probably be the Tigers, if they were not called the Bengals. So we would have Lions, Tigers, and Bears. But anyway, for this one, the Lions are a 6.5-point favorite, and I pretty much think the Lions get this victory very, very much by a lot over the Bears in this one. I say Lions 30 and Bears 12. Yep, 30-12. Then we have the Minnesota Vikings and the Seattle Seahawks. This game is at 4, like the later games. The Vikings are a 3-point favorite. Seahawks are doing pretty well. Geno Smith, I think, wound up leaving the game from week 15, I think because of an injury or something. So I'm trying to see who took over for him. Because I know, Sam Howell wound up taking over. So I don't know if he's going to be the starter for that one or if it's going to be Geno Smith. I mean, it's probably going to be Geno. Hold on one second, folks. Seattle Seahawks quarterbacks. I just want to see you on the roster. So they had Jaron Hall and they have John Rhys Plumlee. Yeah. It probably would be Sam Howell getting the start. And Jaron Hall, I'm assuming he's the third string. And John Rhys Plumlee, I mean, he's probably like a guy like on the practice squad or something like that. I really do not know. But I am going to go with the Vikings in this one. I mean, they're 12-2, but the Seahawks could, get the victory in this one too. But I'm going to go with my gut, and that is the Vikings. And I say 26-23. I think it should be somewhere like that. Then we have another not so great matchup between the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. This one doesn't really look like a great matchup. Like I said, the Bills at 11-3 and the Vikings the other way around at 3-11. This would probably be like back in the day, like when Tom Brady was with the Patriots and the Bills had J.P. Lossman, if you probably remember that quarterback, and a few others, and Tyrod Taylor did, I think, play with the Bills as well. But I'm talking like back in the day, like when the Bills were really struggling. But I think the Bills are going to pretty much get the victory in this one. I say 28-13. Then we have the Jacksonville Jaguars and I keep wanting to call them the Oakland Raiders, but I know that's not it. The Las Vegas Raiders, or Raiders, in Las Vegas, of course. And the Bills, by the way, are a 14-point favorite. The Raiders are a 1.5-point favorite, and I think it does go in favor to the Raiders. I say they get it. Final score, 19-10. Then we have the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Miami Dolphins. These two teams, one in the NFC and the other in the NFC, are pretty much trying to get a victory to keep their playoff chances alive. And thank you, Alex. I know pretty much you're going to go with that team. I mean, yeah, I say that it does go to them. I mean, it is in Miami, and Miami is a 1.5-point favorite. Brock Purdy and the 49ers are just pretty much trying to do what they can to get back into it. But, yeah, I say the Dolphins do get this one. I'd say 27-17. by 10 points. Not sure like why it's at a later time. I mean, but I don't think it really matters. But now we'll get into our Sunday night football matchup, and this is between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a 4-point favorite, and the Cowboys, I mean, once again, another team trying to keep their playoff chances intact. The Buccaneers, they have a record of 8-6. This is a little bit of a tough one. I mean, I gotta probably think about this a little bit. I mean, Cowboys, they come off their victory, and so do the Buccaneers. I mean, this should be a pretty good matchup. I think it should. But I'm going to go with the Buccaneers. I'm going to take a shot with that. I mean, Cowboys, they could pretty much get the victory as well. But I'm just going to go with the Buccaneers. I'm just going to take a shot with that. I say 27-24. Okay. And the last one, which is our Monday Night Football matchup for December 23rd, we have the New Orleans Saints and the Green Bay Packers. Packers are a 14.5-point favorite. The Saints, I mean, yeah, I'm a little disappointed, by them playing like this. I mean, I like Derek Carr. I mean, I think he's a pretty good quarterback, but I don't think he's really been playing that much. I think it's been somebody else. I think Carr has been injured, they had Spencer Rattler, then they had Jake Hayner, and then, Cedric Wilson Jr., I think, is one of their receivers. He is. He just was in there for like a play. But it'll probably go to Spencer Rattler. I mean, I don't know the injury report for the Saints. I mean, I would assume, there's some kind of injury to Derek Carr. I'm just not really... let me take a look here. It should tell me. Yeah, it says that he is doubtful for the game, so it probably will not be him getting the start. So once again, it will probably go to the person that I had mentioned before. Sorry, I keep looking at the names. I'm not too great with the names a lot of times for NFL quarterbacks and stuff, but apologies. So yeah, Spencer Rattler will probably get the start. And for the game, the team they're playing, the Packers, it's in Green Bay, and the weather's probably going to be really bad too. But I say that the Packers do get this one. I say Packers win 24-12, and that's it. All right. So, apologies. The video probably took a while and stuff, but like I said, I wanted to go over the results from week 15 and then 16. I usually do that a lot of times. I like to go over like who I picked and all that stuff. But yeah, so pretty good games are on tap. I mean, it's not too far, before Christmas. I mean, Christmas is 1 week away, but these games should be pretty awesome, and we shall see. All right, so that is going to do it. So hope everybody enjoyed this video. Thank you, everybody that joined in and watched. All right. So thanks again, everybody. You all take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. And you all take care once again. Thank you again for joining in. Thank you again.